What's going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. Talk about the dual commas prime and how I set it up. A couple of variety of things you could do with it. So this is just a discussion video as always. Of course, you know there's tons of gameplay, and I encourage you to go ahead and try this out. And if you really want to try this out without any pressure when you're trying these things out and tweaking things for yourself, go hit up the simulator inside the relays and test against that. This has been run against level 100s, of course, and using Atlas, and I have a special setup between the dual commas and Atlas, and we'll talk about that later as we get the Atlas build out. But meantime, let's take a quick look here. So we've got a nice attack speed right off the top. Okay, we got good critical chance, but I'm not focusing on critical chance. For me, that's not the big thing here. I'm focusing on status chance and what we can do with the numbers that we have. So there's a variety of ways that you can go and roll with this, and I'm just going to quickly go ahead and show you a setup. This is the setup that I ran in the video the other day when I was testing. Okay, and you can see these are some beautiful numbers that are here. So we're running crossing snakes because that's the stance that works, and it's got a really nice multi-angle strikes. It's got a nice spin strike on it inside the combo. Easy to hit that spin strike, which means I'm going to get this 5,082 spin damage. So looking at it this way, as you see it, you got life strike, buzz kill, and pressure point are my basic damage. Well, this is just pure slash adding to the slash damage, and then we've got the straight up 100% melee or 120% melee damage. Then we just talk straight up elements here. So we're going to use Fever Strike and 90% Toxin, Voltaic Strike or Voltaic Strike, and Virulent Scourge. And that's going to give me this nice corrosive here at 323. And then I felt like just staying with heat because I love the heat element. So I went with Volcanic Edge and Molten Impact. And what this does is also gives me 56% status chance, which means I'm going to proc about 50% of the time, whether, you know, it be one of these that are here. But I'm going to proc, and I'm going to proc corrosive heat a lot. You'll see that, and you'll see a lot of slashing when you're doing it. So this comes out to be a really, really powerful setup, and actually the numbers are very close to my Galantine build video, as you'll see, versus the Galantine. And we've got this beautiful speed, so we're not worried about it at all. Interchange it. You can interchange this, okay? You'll notice no jagged edge on this particular setup. Now, if you're looking at the numbers, I could put jagged edge on here, okay, if I want to go raw numbers, because it's a 90% slash. So we put Fever Strike, and you'll see we get a 4,800 here. Really nice slash damage, and the numbers come down a little bit on the corrosive whatnot. But overall, if you're more into the slash, you want the slash proc coming at you, really nice one that would come at you when it does hit. This is the way to go. You add in the slash, the melee, and the slash, and you get that. But in this case, I was focusing on the elements and trying to get the status out of the elements, so I put the 90% element, and of course, you know, element is similar to like a pressure point, where it'll add your base damage across the board. So we get a slightly higher number. Now, and you can put any element there, you can change anything around that you would feel free to change around. It's entirely up to you. The other thing, and I have tested this now recently, and I went around and tested it, and I wanted to see how far could you actually go with this. Okay, you could take out Buzzkill. Let's say you don't have Buzzkill, and we want to keep with the corrosive and the heat, and you'll see this here. Okay, we're going to get the same number. Look at that. It stays the same right there. But we're going to get a 462 corrosive. So now, all we've got is the pressure point as our base, but we're running all element in here, and we're still coming up with the same number. So you can see how this works. There's various different ways to do it. But if you really want to just go all out, you want the most damage that you can get out of this thing, and that's the way to roll. Way to go Spoil Strike. Doubling the leap attack, bringing up that spin attack to over 6,000, bringing up that wall attack, the 4,100, and you can see the difference. I mean, clearly 1694, 5000, 3300. Add in the spoiled strike, which brings up all your base damages, and you just see the numbers increase. Yes, the attack speed comes down, but with crossing snakes, it's got a nice enough speed on the stance itself that you probably won't really recognize it, notice it too much of a difference. If you can run it this way, you are getting the most damage possible out of this. And if you take this with an Atlas build properly set up to utilize like a melee only setup, and we'll see that in another video, and working with just a landslide, you're taking all of these bases. You're taking spoiled strike, pressure point, fever strike. You're taking all these numbers, all of this right here basically, and you're putting that into the damage capability of landslide. Go ahead, try that out. Level 100s are nothing when you're just running it that way. Anyway, comments, questions below. I'll post up some footage of me playing with the setup just like this in the simulator, forthcoming, and you will see what I'm talking about, how easy landslide works and how well the dual combos works with it in combination. So the next video, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys soon.